Happy Monday. Oh my God, what a beautiful start to it. Last week was a bit of a wobble for me. Sorry I didn't get on to do any videos. I know I was on my Facebook, I was doing a lot of watch parties with my Auntie Ethel, who was doing a lot of live videos on her Facebook feed. So a lot of the stuff that she was covering would have been me just regurgitating, because we sort of talk every night. So I left a lot of watch parties for you to watch her, then have to me to physically do those videos. So apologies on that. I've had a few nights myself where I was absolutely exhausted last week. So I mean, I thought like we'd only have a few weeks of this purging thing that's going on, and then that would be it and it would be over. But it seems to be every week you get up down days where it's like a wave coming in, you're feeling it, then you go down low and you just want to put your head under the covers and just purge, and then you have other days where you feel great. So that's happening for me. That is also happening for you and some of you on a deeper level. So be mindful of that, and don't beat yourself up about it. Be vulnerable, step into who you really are, and really look at the stuff that's going on within you. Anything that's emotional, anything that is triggering you at the moment, recognize it's happening. Feel it, be aware of where it is in your body, what it's doing in your physical body. Where is it? You're holding the energy in your heart? Are you holding the energy down in your root chakra? Is it in your head? Recognize where it is and purge it out. Because of the case studies I was doing last week for my emotional freedom technique, I'm in the midst of them. I'm just nearly finished them. So I did a lot of clients over Zoom last week, and it seems to be happening not only for me but for them too. And I did young and old clients last week, and it seems to be happening on all levels. So a lot of the older clients that I was doing are having this purging that's happening from the old conditions, old beliefs, all the limited beliefs that we've had here, all the injustices, all of the inequalities, especially at the moment we're seeing that in Black Lives Matter. It's purging in the whole of the world. We're all part of that movement. So if it's happening on a larger scale, it's also happening within the physical body and within one human being, as then millions. So the experiences that they're going through, some of my clients last week was going through, is like the old stuff that's happened for them, like stuff that the old emotions that they're carrying, old stuff that is being triggered right now. And when you feel that within your body, I want you not to pull it back in. I see it physically, and I always say, it's great to see somebody when I'm doing a Zoom call, then actually physically ringing them on the phone, because I want to see what the energy is doing in the body. And the minute that you start tapping, especially when you start tapping the karate chop point, which is here, I've done one of those videos on Instagram at the start of the lockdown. The minute that you start tapping that, you can see the energy shifting, and a lot of it is heart energy, a lot of it is root chakra energy, all the old stuff that you pushed down from when you were a child, any abuses that went on, anything with bullying, all those things all are coming up to the surface. And I want you to try to become aware of where it is in your body. Bring in your breath, because when you bring in the breath into your body, into your physical body, you connect with your heart center. So it brings into where the actual physical energy is in your body, and you're sort of connected to your higher self. You're connected to source when you recognize that breath coming in, and bring the breath into that space. So if it's down in your root chakra, bring it down to there, and on the out breath, let it go. Because obviously I can't physically get to you, but we can do my sending the distant healing symbols to you for distant healing with Reiki. But it's a way of, it works best for you if you actually intentionally want to let it go. So a lot of surrender, a lot of release, letting it go, saying, I don't want this anymore. It is stuff that's coming up that's old patterns maybe. You'll find that one of my clients last week was having feeling that she was being controlled in the house by her partner, feeling that she was being controlled by her children, being controlled in her work, being controlled every aspect in her family, in her greater family, with her siblings and her parents. She felt that like they were taking the piss out of her, that she was nearly being a doormat. And as I tried to explain to her, is that every single aspect of your life is going to show you the same lesson, the same pattern that's coming in, whether it's with your husband, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your parents, parents, whether it's with your work colleagues. It's all coming into your life to teach you. Remember, you choose it. You're choosing the experience for you to teach yourself. So your husband or your partner says to you, your wife says to you, oh, do that now, and you don't stand up for yourself and say, no, actually, I don't really want to do that now. Well, then it means that you're just going to bring it back into your life in another way. You'll have your child say, Mom, get this for me now. Or you'll go into work and your boss will say, do it right now, and speak to you in the same manner, because what it's doing is it's trying to come at you from all aspects, so you actually stand up and say, actually, no, that doesn't suit me right now, because what it's trying to do is teach you to be powerful and stand into your truth of who you really are. Speak up for yourself and learn the lesson that if it's not serving you, it's not for your highest good, it's not working for you, speak up and say it. So that's coming up where people are really being pushed to the limits on some of them. They feel like, oh my God, it's happening from all angles. What am I supposed to do? How come it's coming back? Remember, you chose it. You're the one who's bringing it into your play, the role that you're playing in this. You're bringing each one of those people in as a person who's playing a role in your life. And each one of them is teaching you, trying to get you to do what you're supposed to do to get you back into full alignment. So, and we're seeing that, and we're not only seeing it in our physical family life and our work life, but we're also seeing it in the world, where all of the protests and the riots and all of those things that are going on at the moment, they are happening because it's happening collectively as well as it happening all over the world. So when we see it on the television, we see people standing there with their placards and they're saying, I say no to this. We're not going to stand for this anymore. It makes you triggers within you that you're not going to stand for the injustices and the inequalities that's going on in your physical life. So recognize it, allow it to purge itself up. If it means you want to cry and you want to close down the blinds and get under the blankets and have those days where you feel totally exhausted and want to have a meltdown, do it. As I often say to my clients after they leave me, when they go home and they know that the emotion's there and they won't let it go for me, I say, go home and put on the Notebook or put on one of those really crying movies and purge it up and let it go, because this is where we are really feeling this energy and that's happening in the world around us, because we are way showers or light workers or just anchors for this light that's coming in, all this new beautiful energy that's coming in. And when this golden energy is coming in to move us from the 3D into the 5D, there has to be the purge. It has to come up through the earth and also through the physical body. So as it's doing that, it's like, you being the tube, and the energy is coming up, the negative energy is coming up, and it wants to purge itself out. So allow the energy to do what it has to do in your body to purge up and out through you, because you as a 5D being now in this human form are alchemizing this energy, changing it from darkness into light. So you yourself in your physical body is changing that energy. So recognize that you're doing that, and you have to have self-care in that, because it's, as I always say, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. You've got to batten down the hatches if you're feeling that energy. You got to look after yourself first. You've got to do some meditations. You've got to do that purging. You've got to do that emotional releasing, because you've got to get rid of it for you first before you can actually physically go out there and help others. So be mindful of that. It's okay to have those days. I mean, last week I really did try to get on and do some videos, and I was like, oh, you know what, I couldn't bring myself to get out the back and actually do a few videos because I was doing so much of my own self-care. So, and you have to remember that if I can't help myself, I can't help others. So I have to, batten down the hatches for myself. So apologies on that if I know people were waiting for the messages out there. So also what I'm going to do is I'll do that in my second video. I'll talk about the physical purge and how to actually help with that shifting that's going on. If there is any of you that are going through, I know a lot of children are going through this at the moment. I did a few children last week on the EFT, the emotional freedom. It's very, very good for children. It's something that you can teach them in to have as a tool, like a tool in the spiritual toolbox. The emotional freedom technique, where it's to do with the tapping. So when I'm working with you doing Reiki, I'm placing my hands down on the auric field, and the energy goes into the 7 primary chakras, which is crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and then the root chakra. And when I'm doing emotional freedom technique, it's tapping on the actual pressure points or the acupoints, which in normal, you go to an acupuncturist, they put needles there and the energy will come out through the needles and direct itself out. So when I do the tapping with adults and children, I find it really beneficial when I get to the heart point, which is especially for the children, because they are real empaths at the moment. They are really holding this energy. They don't know what to do with it, especially in Ireland. We really need to teach our children that it's good to cry. It's good to have a day when they get a bit angry, go into the bedroom and tump it out in the pillow, or don't tump their siblings, but tump it out in the pillow. It's a good way of getting out that anger and that pent up frustrations that they may be feeling, especially after being locked down for such a long period of time. So I was doing it last week with one of the kids, and the minute that I got to the heart point, I could see it coming up in them, and they kept going and holding the breath and pulling it back down. And I want you to try to show your children how to do it, even if it's through just the thymus tump, where they tump the chest, taking a breath in, letting it go, taking another breath in, breathing in golden light, visualizing golden light filling up your chest, letting it go. Do that 3 times with the children. That in itself is very powerful for them, helps them to release that dense heaviness energy that they're feeling on their chest. For the adults out there, the quick sequence of the tapping is the emotional freedom tapping points is the karate chop point, which is here. You say, even though I have this problem, and your subconscious, your higher self knows what that problem is. It could be a pain in your head, pain in your butt, pain in your leg, pain in your stomach, wherever it is, right? Even though I have this problem, I accept that I have it, and I totally and completely love and approve of myself. And saying that in an affirmation, I totally and completely love and approve of myself, is very powerful, because your cells are listening to you. And especially us Irish, we don't like saying we love ourselves because we look like we're big-headed, but you've got to say that to yourself, because you totally and completely do love and approve of yourself. So even though I have this problem, I accept that I have it, and I totally and completely love and approve of myself. Even though I have this problem, I accept that I have it, and I totally and completely love and approve of myself. And then you do your tapping points: top of the head, over the eye, on the eyebrow, across on the other side of your eyebrow, under your eye, on the bone, under your nose, on your chin, on your thymus tump in your chest. And then for the women, on where the bra strap is, or for the men, just under the arm, 4 or 5 inches underneath the armpit. And you tap and take a breath. And that, if you do that in a sequence, you're doing this 3 times. Even though I have this problem, I accept that I have it, and I totally and completely love and approve of myself. And then you do 1 round of the tapping points. It's on my earlier videos on my posts there. You can have a look at that, and it's really powerful for you to do it for yourself when you're going through this purging, and also for the children. So I will come back to you in the afternoon, and I'll be doing another video on the juicing. I'm doing celery juice at the moment, and about the Kangen water. So I hope I will be back on later. Enjoy. Namaste.